Welcome back. With us live over the phone now is Mr. Amr Abdel Rahman, the political and economic analyst. Good morning, Mr. Abdel Rahman.
Good morning to you. Hello to the dear viewer. I'm glad to be with you.
It's our pleasure, sir. Of course, Mr. Abdel Rahman, Prime Minister Medbouli inspected the development works in St. Catherine International Airport. How do you see the government efforts in upgrading Sinai at large?
I believe that spot that Mr. Prime Minister Mustafa Medbouli has visited yesterday has a very significant point and a very significant date. We are getting close to the memory of our great victory in October 6, 1973. And Sinai was the main battlefield that we have conquered the enemy and regained our land. And now we are building on this land the Egyptian civilization, the true pillars of investments with the Egyptian identity, with the Egyptian personality. I believe that Mr. Prime Minister has accomplished a lot by meeting the tourists there on Taba and in Nuweiba and in other spots in Sinai, in southern Sinai, and other places that reflect the efforts and the success projects that Egypt has accomplished through that past decade and going on with more successes as we are speaking right now. We all have witnessed the great reflection of the tourists that met with the Mr. Prime Minister, how happy they were, and how he was concerned to answer to any demand or any solving any problems and meet their requests to develop our horizon and to expand our touristic projects in Sinai. This is only a part of the greater plan of developing Sinai. Sinai that is living now the best days of its life since hundreds of years. Sinai today is different from Sinai 10 years ago. Before 10 years ago, Sinai was just desert. And people there, they lack even the identity that proves their citizenship and belonging to the country. Today, the Egyptian on Sinai is are part of the projects and the development projects that are being built and accomplished to the last centimeter in our land, side by side to the Zionist existence, as it's in the protection of our army with the heavy artillery and heavy weapons that is protecting our projects in Sinai. That means a lot. That gives each and every true American, each and every Egyptian citizen feeling proud. We are not responding to any demands or any pressures from any other countries like the US or other countries. We are fighting for our independence on Sinai and the independence of our own decision and the independence of our own project and our own identity. This is a battle of building. We are building with a hand and fighting with another hand.
Right. Of course, it's very obvious to any observer that Egypt directs investments in billions to develop the dear part of the state and make it the Sinai Peninsula, of course, and make it one of the number one, let us say, economic, touristic, logistics hub in the region. What's your intake?
This is a very, you really have put it in a very clever way. We have accomplished logistic, economic, and touristic projects in Sinai side by side, under the umbrella of the protection of the Egyptian army. That would never have occurred without our great success competing and beating and defeating the terroristic groups that was masterminded and maneuvered and controlled by hostile powers like the U.S. and other countries, and of course the connection with the Zionist existence was clear. And now, after our own success of defeating the terroristic groups in Sinai, we have the privilege to make it even more developed, make a better future for a very important section of our nation that has suffered a lot for decades, for hundreds of years. I believe now the huge success now is attracting investments and investors from all over the world, whether agriculturally, whether economically, whether the service projects, whether food projects, whether whatsoever, any sort of development that can be agreed upon, as well as we are developing our own projects, our own national mega projects that are being cultivated in Sinai, agriculturally and industrially. This is the main aspect that Sinai, this is the dream that is coming true for each and every Egyptian citizen in Sinai.
Right. The Planning Ministry unveiled Sinai's investment plan for the year 2022-2023 earlier before. What is the impact of this plan over the economic sector and its development? How far have it empowered our economic development plan?
It poured more cement in our own pillars of our economy and opened the gates for more working opportunities for the youth. And I really demand for the government to invite the youth to go there in Sinai and work there. There are future for them in Sinai. And instead of traveling abroad, instead of going to Gulf cities and countries, Sinai is worthy of being a target for the youth and a place to start their own dreams and their own future fruitful lives. Sinai now is a very important part of Egypt. And each and every Egyptian who can go there, he must go. He must start his own life there, especially for the youth, especially for the new generation. As well as I'm talking about as a principle. This should be the same principle for all the youth in each and every mega project that's being accomplished in our soil, like the 1.5 million of acres that we are cultivating for the new agriculture projects. The youth should be going there and start their own life there with the new families. That's how we can expand our own success, and that's how the people should share and have their shares of this success, not just being concentrated on this very old and ancient line around the Nile. We need to think more wide, more open horizons. This is the way we can build our own country with a new thinking, with a new hope that should be cultivated in the hearts and in the minds of the new generation.
Right. What is the significance of Egypt offering 17 residential agricultural development communities in Sinai for investment from your own point of view?
This is a living proof of what I'm saying. Without being protected, well protected by the army, we would never have such great agricultural projects in Sinai. We can now refresh the memory of the audience and the viewers with the great project that connected Sinai with the central of Egypt, central of Egypt. Those 8 tunnels that connected Sinai to Egypt, to the rest of Egypt, is a very important step. We have made it easier for people to get there and move towards their own dreams and the new projects in Sinai. I believe that the businessmen and the private sector, if it really wants to prove his belonging to this country, is to go there and invest in Sinai and start investing in Sinai, and instead of just exporting from outside. Importing from outside. We need true projects, industrial projects, agricultural projects, side by side together in cooperation between the private sector and the governmental sector. This is how we can build our nation. And of course, the people and the working hands and the think tanks of the Egyptians, which are so many, to take part in this development project. We need for the people to think about the future of Egypt. The future of Egypt can only be built and accomplished by a united nation around our own leader, Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and the belief that the army and the police and the nation are hand in hand, on one heart, on one building hand for this, the new Egypt, the new republic.
Right. So how would upgrading St. Catherine International Airport, share or help in empowering the underway Great Transfiguration Development Project and its impact, particularly on the tourism development?
Well, of course, St. Catherine is in the heart of millions and millions of people all around the world, of all religions. And of course, it means a lot if a man or a family from the US or from Russia or from Australia, from Germany, from Romania, from any other country, to realize that it's easy to come and visit and take a tour there and enjoying their staying here in Sinai, in St. Catherine, and all of the touristic places all around it. Of course, here in Egypt, we need to realize that this is a very important spot for the whole Egyptian nation. We are all connected to that spot, this holy spot. We can go there. We can initiate more traveling trips to such a holy place. This only can be a very important vein for more economical outcome. And of course, the touristic projects in Egypt has so many faces, has so many pillars, so many dimensions that no other country on the earth possesses.
Come again? Hello?
I'm with you.
Right. So how can the historical and spiritual value of St. Catherine? We all know that St. Catherine is on primarily, firsthand, is one of the top world spiritual places or spots that people flock over to visit from all parts of the world. And also, it has a historical background and significance. So how can this value add to promote the religious tourism here in Egypt, especially that religious tourism have a special season? What suggestions could be added to that particular value of St. Catherine?
Well, as I told you, we need to invite the Egyptians first to go there and travel with more traveling trips and domestic touristic trips to Sinai and other holy places in Sinai, not only in St. Catherine. And of course, for the whole world is lucky that we have this holy spot. There is no nation like the Egyptian nation that can be trusted with such a holy place and any other holy place on this earth. We are the guardians of religion all over our history. And we are now building the future with great touristic projects that connect the Egyptian nation with other nations to come and join and have their spiritual trips and spiritual moments in Sinai and all over Sinai. I believe our success in building bridges with the whole nation can build that international way of thinking, that more expanding our own horizons and how to look to the world on the basis of our own identity and holding up for our own possessing of our land that we have irrigated it with our own blood, the blood of the best soldiers on earth. We need to defend this land. If we have defended it before, again, it is UNIS existence, we have conquered it, and soon we have, just earlier when we have conquered terroristic groups that was masterminded by the same enemy and other arms abroad, it's time now to fight in peace, to fight with development, to fight with more projects, to fight to invite the whole world to realize that Egypt is the true guardian of civilization and humanity, and protecting the values of humanity and religion.
Right. To what extent does the development of the Great Transfiguration site in St. Catherine contribute to the development of the path of the Holy Family?
Well, of course, we have expanded our own horizons there, our own projects, to go side by side with the spiritual dimension. Right. We have restored the holy places there and made it easier and made it open for tourists from all over the world. Right. And of course, for tourists from here, as I told you, we need. I demand of more trips carrying Egyptians to go there and witness what they have accomplished in Sinai, not just visiting, but traveling and starting their own lives there, especially for the youth.
Right. Mr. Amr Abdel Rahman, would like to thank you so much on this very important note, and you have a very good day. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll come back to you with our second segment, so stay with us.